I'm Jacob from the Sustainably Yours Homestead, where we're striving to live a little bit more self-sufficiently each and every day, and we're inviting you to learn along with us. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down there, and then stay tuned because it's time for our Saturday Shedwars update. We're gonna start things off out by the Minecraft garden. The late squash that I planted looks like it's doing a lot better than the squash in the other garden. There are a couple of plants in the other garden, I'll get them in just a second, I'll show you. But once they start to grow out from under the corn, they took off and did a lot better. So I'm definitely not gonna be doing that Three Sisters thing again. And then my favorite part of the garden this year, the edible snake gourds. These are my two that I'm leaving to go to seed. I'm waiting for them to start drying out. I don't know how long that takes. But I have two here that I'm gonna harvest here in just a second. I have a couple more that'll be ready in another couple of days probably. And then I have several coming up behind those. And this thing just continues to grow. I keep getting side shoots that I have to pull back over and put back on the trellis. This has been a very, very productive plant this year. My paprika peppers are starting to come in. I've got several of them that are starting to turn red. Maybe you can see it on the video there. There's red all up and down the row there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick a bunch of these too, some of them anyway. This one, it's about halfway red. The other half is green. I'm gonna go ahead and take it and let it ripen on the countertop. I did try one of these the other day and it was pretty spicy. It was pretty spicy. My New Mex Sunglow peppers have been doing awesome. Just about every day or every other day, come out and pick a handful of these and they disappear. Take them in the house and the kids eat them up. They're pretty good. If I had one complaint about them, it would be that they're a little bit too seedy, chock full of seeds, which it's not very pleasant if you're eating them. However, if you are planning on saving seeds, perfect. If you're looking for a productive pepper, New Mex Sunglow. I'm telling you, man, they were loaded. They're still loaded down. I think they're still producing more new ones. Leave me alone, kitty. My eggplants, they're still getting ravaged by these bugs. By the way, hey kitty, what you doing? By the way, I've figured out what those bugs were in the previous video that were skeletonizing my leaves. Like this right here. I'm in the process of making a video on that. So stay tuned, you might be a little surprised as to what they are. But these eggplants, I've never grown them, I've never grown them before. All of them are about this size, maybe a little bigger. They haven't really gotten any bigger than this. Now I've let them sit on the vine for a while. They're not growing any, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and clear out all of them that I have. That was pretty small, but it's kind of, yeah, that one's ready to go. Don't break my plants. My bell pepper. I keep getting stuff. Every time I start to get, move cat. Every time one of my bell peppers starts to get looking good, something bores a hole in it. I'm not sure what's doing that. That one's ruined. But I do have a pretty good one going right here. tempted to take it right now. I might give it a couple of days and see if it continues to grow bigger. My jalapenos they're always small. Maybe I just pick them early. But I'm gonna take some of these in. Just some of the fatter ones. But they're good producers. They were, I believe, Tam jalapeno peppers that I got from Baker Creek. Some lettuce that has bolted. I'm just gonna let it stay there and maybe try to collect some seed. My tomatoes, these Lincoln tomatoes, taste-wise and texture-wise, I think these are my favorite tomatoes out of any that I've ever grown. They get very large. They taste really good. They're very sweet. Oops, I accidentally picked one. I'll just take it in and maybe we'll have some green tomatoes tonight. Fried green tomatoes. My only complaint is that a lot of them get these bad spots on the bottom. And the rest of the tomato will grow just fine and you can cut the bad spot off, but right here around the bottom of it, it kind of it starts off looking just a little bit brown, a little off-colored like this. And as the tomato grows, it will turn more like deep brown. It will be almost like an ulcer. And it creates a problem in that if I try to pick the tomato early before it's completely ripe and then ripen it on the countertop, that bad spot will begin to mold and then I just have to throw the whole tomato out. That is my only complaint about these Lincoln tomatoes, and maybe it's not this variety of tomatoes, maybe it's a soil deficiency or something, I'm not sure. I gotta figure that out. But otherwise, I really, really like these Lincoln tomatoes. I really don't have anything ready right now. Oh, this one is, well, see, I would like to leave this on the vine, but it's beginning to split. I may have to count that one just as a loss. But there's not really anything here to pick because anything that was close, I took the other day. We were gonna get a couple of days of rain and I knew they would just start to split open. So I grabbed everything that was even beginning to blush just a little bit. My noodle beans, I'm gonna plant a lot more of these next year. They are really, really yummy and they produce really well. I just picked a big handful of these yesterday or day before, and I'm about to pick another one. So these are really, really awesome. They're super easy to pick. Just pick the top of the bean there, bean pod, give it a little twist, a little pull, boom. And in my opinion, this is about the perfect size to pick them at. If they get too much bigger than that, the seeds begin to develop. Hey, leave my phone alone. If they get too much bigger than this, then the seeds will begin to develop too much and they're just not as pleasant as a green bean. Rich! Quit clawing me. Hey, leave my phone alone. Silly kitty. Don't do that. But yeah, I would say that right there is about the perfect time to pick these Chinese red noodle beans. It looks like I'm not the only thing that likes them because these beans that grew close to the ground, a lot of them have been chewed on, probably by some mice or rats or some type of rodent. See, here's one that I've probably let stay too long. You can see where the beans are beginning to form inside. You can see the lump where each bean is located. I'm just gonna leave this one on, and if nothing eats it, then I'll use it for seed. Take a look at this. My loofah gourds have begun to flower. Oh man, that makes a pretty little flower. Got one here. And I've got another one down here. And I don't know how these things work either. It looks like a cluster of what will eventually become flowers. I don't know if these make male and female. I don't know how it goes. We'll just have to keep an eye on it and see what happens. Hopefully it's not too late in the season to get some gourds to develop. We are over in the other garden, the one beside the house, and this is what happens when you let your noodle beans stay on the vine. I decided to leave these just kind of as a test to see what the dry beans are like, and at the very least I'll have some seeds for next year. I'll have plenty of those. Still have a few small ones that are starting to come on. I may go ahead and pick these later on. It looks like I'm gonna have plenty of seed stock. And the seeds will most definitely be viable. I just took one of the pods like this. It was already dried up. I just pulled some seeds out of it, poked them down into the ground right around here, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 new plants that have come up. And I've planted 4, maybe 5 seeds. So almost all of them, or maybe even all of them, came up. I don't know if these will have time to grow and produce before the end of season, but it's encouraging to know that the seeds will be viable for next year. I have a volunteer cucumber right here. I've just kind of let it do its thing, sprawl out. We've pulled several cucumbers off of this one. As a matter of fact, this volunteer cucumber has probably been the best cucumber plant that I've had. What I wanted to be a cucumber wall back here, didn't really do so great. It's still producing a few. And we've pulled plenty off of it. I mean, we've had plenty of cucumbers for fresh eating, but I really wanted to try to make some pickles this year, and that's just not gonna happen. Here's the other part of that wannabe wall. Here's one that's probably about ready. I'm gonna take it regardless, because I would like a cucumber. There's one on the other side here. I get a lot of them that grow like this, where one chunk of it will be big fat, and then you get down to the end and it just tapers off. I'm not really sure why. I imagine it has something to do with watering. The mystery tomatoes have been producing. These do not, whatever they are, they do not get quite as big as the Lincoln tomatoes. They're not as sweet. They're a little bit tangier of a tomato. But still good. I mean, you can't grow a tomato at home and it not be good. That one's splitting a little on the bottom. That's okay, we'll just eat it. Eat it very soon. Over here, I mentioned the squash. Wherever it started to grow out of its little corn canopy, it really started to take off. Here's a really good one. I've pulled a few squash off of this one. It's done a lot better since it's begun to kind of grow out into the sun. But that tells me I'm not gonna be doing the Three Sisters gardening thing again. I see you! Some kind of mushroom there. Watching over my garden. And here's a squish that's ready to go. We'll take you. The corn is not going to turn out very well, I don't think. Most of these you can look and see that bugs have gotten into it. We still have some kernels in there. A lot of these are really small, which they're supposed to be small. I don't know if they're supposed to be this small. This one, I think, is probably more like what it's supposed to be. We're not gonna have a huge harvest of this stuff this year, but hopefully we'll have enough left at the end that the bugs didn't get to. Oops. Where we'll have plenty of seed stock for next year and I can grow a nice big patch of popcorn. And next year I will definitely go to greater lengths to take care of it. I'll put some, I've read that you can take some BT or some mineral oil and just kind of dab the ends as the corn begins to develop, and that will deter any of those worms that would break into the ear of corn. So we'll definitely have to do something like that next year. But I guess I'm just gonna leave these here for now to dry on the stalk. I think that'd be the thing to do. It's pretty corn. And the okra's still doing good. I'm beginning to get production from most of it. We're picking it every couple of days, something like that. As a matter of fact, I'm about to have to get in there. So, I always try and squeeze all of my okra into this little space right here. And so, I get greedy and I plant my rows really close together. Makes it tough for me to get in there and pick the okra without getting all itchy. Eventually, I would like to have most of my garden moved out to there where the Minecraft garden is. We're going to extend all the way down that line, that fence line by the road. And then I think I would like to take this entire spot right here and convert it to okra. I really like the okra. If I do that though, I'm definitely going to have to space everything out a little better. That way I don't have to get all itchy just to pick it. With this small space, I can pretty well stand at the end and reach most of the, like halfway into the road this way, and then anything on the other side, I can just go to the other side and reach in. But if I were to extend it all the way out to here, yeah, definitely need that walking space. So there's a tip for you if you've never grown okra and you would like to. You get into this stuff and there are lots and lots of little bitty tiny hairs. They get in your skin, and I mean, it doesn't hurt, but boy, they make you itchy. Here is what we were able to bring in today. We had a couple of snake gourds. Each one was just over 2 pounds, so about 4 pounds worth of snake gourds. A little over 1 pound of mystery tomatoes, a little over 1 ounce of the New Mex peppers, jalapenos, we had about 2.5 ounces there. The squash was almost 6.5 ounces. Paprika peppers came in at almost 4 ounces. The 3 cucumbers combined for about 1 pound and almost 6 ounces. The 3 eggplants came in at a little over 9 ounces. And then the little green tomato here was almost 8 ounces. So that gives me a total for today's harvest of 10 pounds, I think it was 5.75 ounces or something like that. And a Shedwars total so far of a little bit over 80 pounds. Yeah! I had to look real quick. It's 80 pounds, 13.7 ounces to be exact. So I thought we would do a little bit better at the beginning of the year. Things didn't really go as planned, however, but it has been a really great learning process. I think we'll do a lot better in next year's garden, so wouldn't trade it. Wouldn't trade it. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If so, please be sure to give us that thumbs up, subscribe, leave us a thoughtful comment, and if you're interested in following along as we continue to try and turn our home into a homestead, then be sure to ring the notification bell so you'll know when to be back for more daily, sustainable living.